Ladies and gentlemen, Santa is in the house. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas. My name's Clyde Rabideau, Mayor of Saranac Lake, New York. That was not bad. We're going to get better. We're going to get better. What a day. What a week. What a year, and what a time to be a New Yorker. What a time to be in Saranac Lake. We got a governor that loves Saranac Lake, loves the Adirondacks, loves the North Country. He's up here. He's engaged. He's engaged. But I'm not surprised. 21 years ago, there was another Governor Cuomo who took a special interest in the North Country when our air base was taken away from us. And that Governor Cuomo, Mario Cuomo, visited quite often, twice a week, 3 times a week. He came up so often, I thought we were family. So I asked, can I get Mrs. Matilda Cuomo's pasta sauce recipe? Governor Mario said, I don't even have Matilda's recipe. But that's the kind of governor we have. It runs in the family. And he is also the architect of the plan of going bottom up to decide our own economic future in the 10 regions of New York State. And I tell you this, it is the most successful plan that we've seen in 2 generations to lift New York State again to be the Empire State. And before I introduce Santa, there's a few other introductions. First, we've got a couple chair people here that have led our North Country team to 3 straight priority project status regions, a hat trick, the first of whom, the president of my alma mater, Clarkson University. Sorry, Roby, but they beat St. Lawrence University for the 2nd time last week. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of Clarkson, Tony Collins. And the other half of the dynamic duo of the North Country, the chair and president, CEO of the North Country Chamber of Commerce, my good friend, Gary Douglas. The next person you may have thought was a rock star when he walked in a half an hour ago, the developer of the Hotel Saranac. Ladies and gentlemen, Fred Rodell III. I think he could run for mayor and win. Easy. We've got some other great developers coming on board in the capital of the Adirondacks. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to introduce my good friends, Jacob Wright and Chris Labarge. A special note of thanks to the owners of the Downhill Grill, Ken and Joe Lawless. I'm also very honored to have many, many elected officials here in Saranac Lake. Too many to mention, but there are so many notable people here. Especially nos amis du Tupper Lake. Bienvenue à ma village. But we're so pleased to have you here. We're honored by your presence. We're all North Country, we're all Adirondackers, and we're all one New York family. All right, here's the best part. You know him, you love him, our governor, Andrew Cuomo!
Thank you. Thank you. Well, it is good to be back. I want you to know your mayor. Give him a round of applause, Mayor Clyde Rabideau. I forgive your mayor. Your mayor was in the doghouse with me. I don't even know if he knows it. Last year, maybe the year before, I'm down in Albany, and I'm negotiating the budget, which if you had to, it's a choice between going to the dentist and have your teeth pulled without Novocaine or negotiate the budget. You go to the dentist. And the budget negotiations going on, and I had my daughters with me in Albany, and they were out of school, and they wanted to go skiing, and I thought the budget negotiation was going to be finished, and it wasn't finished. So I say to the leaders, well, you know what, let me go think about some of the things we're talking about. And I go grab my girls, throw them in the car, put on a big pair of sunglasses, put on a baseball hat, looked in the mirror, I didn't recognize myself, throw them in the car, come up, drop the girls at Whiteface, take one of them here with me, and went to the Blue Line Sporting Goods store right down the block, stopped at the pizzeria on the corner. I come out of the pizzeria, I see Mayor Clyde Rabideau halfway down the block. But I have these big sunglasses and his baseball hat and this old jacket, and I'm pretty sure he didn't recognize me. And then even if he recognized me, I'm pretty sure that he wouldn't out me, because I'm playing hooky from the budget negotiations. And nobody knows I'm here. They think I'm pondering great budget options. I get in the car, get maybe a mile away, pull into a gas station to get gas, pumping up the car with gas. Whoop, right behind me, here comes the Adirondack Daily Enterprise with the camera, filming me pumping gas. Plus, I got this stupid hat on these big sunglasses. I think it was Mayor Clyde Rabideau who dropped a dime on me. But we move on. Let's give him another round of applause, Mayor Clyde Rabideau. To your great elected officials, Chairman Billy Jones, Chairman Randy Douglas, Chairman Bill Farber, let's give them a round of applause. I am in love with the Adirondacks. I have been for a long, long time. The love has grown deeper as I have grown older. I came up as a kid a few times, but where I really spent time was my father had just become governor. My younger brother, Chris Cuomo, you see him on CNN now, on the morning show. He's 13 years younger than I am, Chris. So my father becomes governor. My father's working. Chris is sort of on his own. So I take a lot of time taking Chris, and I would take Chris up here. And we were all over the North Country. When he was 12, 13, up until he discovered girls. Whenever he discovered, that was it for fishing, as soon as he discovered girls. But so we spent a lot of time in the North Country, all through it, and it was great personal memories for me. And no matter how many times you come, it's always a different experience, and it's always a different sensation, and all of them miraculous. But back then, I learned very early on, I felt a sense in the North Country that they didn't really feel connected to Albany and feel connected to the state government, that they weren't getting the attention that they deserved, that they needed in the North Country. And I also felt myself so many situations with such potential, if there was just one little push, a little piece of help here, a little piece here, a little spark, if it's just, we just had this one piece, you could see it taking off because there was such potential all through the North Country. And I learned that very young. And then our solution, I became governor, was the mayor said the regional economic development councils, bottom up, comprehensive solutions, but community driven, not Albany driven, right? Because if the community doesn't believe in it, if the community's not vested in it, it's not going to work anyway, and the community really does know best. So the North Country had a chance to these regional economic development councils, but it was a competition. Nobody from Albany wrote a check. There are 10 regions. Each region puts together its own council, and then they compete against each other. And Long Island is one region, New York City's a region, Western New York's a region, Finger Lakes, et cetera. And this is a tough competition. Now, you were not an odds-on favorite in the competition. You were not. You had, because a lot of these other regions had been doing this kind of thing. You're a bigger region than most, which posed challenges in and of itself. Everybody had to drive 3 hours to go to a meeting, you know, the little things in life. So, you took that chance. You took that opportunity. And man, you hit that ball right out of the park, I'll tell you the truth. The only region of the 10 to have won all 3 rounds of the competition. That's what they mean by hat trick, and you're the only one. Concept was exactly right, and the plan called firecrackers, projects in and of themselves where there's a pop, there's a bang, there's an economic development stimulation to the project itself, but it's even bigger when you add them all together. So investing in the Bombardier plant, Plattsburgh Airport, Ogdensburg Bridge Authority, you add them all together, Whiteface Memorial Highway to be redone, you add them all together and you see activity all across the North Country. And then there becomes a synergy and a positivism to it. The dynamic duo of the REDC, who really are 2 extraordinary individuals, because this was unbelievable what they accomplished. And to the extent they've done really fantastic work, over $275 million of state funds invested in the North Country. And they did it the old-fashioned way. They did it with hard work. They did it with being inclusive. And that is Tony Collins and Gary Douglas. Give them another round of applause. And I think I've just watched it over the 3 years. It's even getting progressively better and progressively more sophisticated. One of the latest projects is a partnership between Trudeau and Clarkson, which I love so much because it really is the same type of vision that Trudeau manifested in the first place, right? They were going to do something never done before. They were going to cure an incurable disease, a killer all across the planet. And they were going to find the cure that no one else could find. And where were they going to find it? In Saranac. That's where they came to find it. And look at the optimism. And look at the positivism about that. And this partnership with Clarkson and the state of New York is just the next generation of that. Let's go build, let's go discover. Trudeau and Clarkson, it's a perfect match for the scientific, the engineering expertise, plus the research. State is going to provide funding. I am so excited about the potential and what Trudeau did for generations in Saranac. this new venture will do going forward. So let's give them another round of applause. But I also believe this. I believe that the North Country is fundamentally in a different place than it was. And I believe in the energy in life. And I believe that negative energy begets negative. I believe that positive energy begets positive. And there has been a positive energy in the North Country that is begetting positive. And you see it all different ways. You see it all different ways. We recently acquired the Finch Prime parcel, 69,000 acres, magnificent acquisition that I'm proud of. That's going to be a legacy item for our generation that we're leaving behind for our children, improving this beautiful natural resource. But the Finch Prime parcel had to now be classified, right? And it's a very special parcel. You have OK Slip Falls in there. You have the Essex chain of lakes. So it's really a magnificent parcel. And when we first started to talk about it, the advisors who had been through this before said, well, this is going to be years, Governor. I said, years? They said, yes, this is going to be years, and then years of litigation after the years of fighting. I said, years of fighting and years of litigation. Yes, it always is, because it's very controversial, and there are different interests, and you have an environmental issue, and an interest, and a conservation interest, and you have an economic development interest, and you can't balance them, so it's going to be years. Finch Prime, a couple of months ago, we sat some people down, we started to have conversations. We said, let's see if we can find a middle way. Let's see if we can just slow it down and everyone doesn't get so defensive. And we put the environmental groups and the conservation groups, the Mountain Club, the council, together with the elected officials who represent the towns. And lo and behold, after just a couple of months, the positive energy formed a positive outcome. They came up with a consensus solution that does all of the above, conserves, protects, also develops recreation, snowmobile trails, etc. So there's going to be economic development, and there's some tax base. Sent it to the APA. The APA approved it. Record time. I mean that nicely. APA just sent it to me. There's a 10-day waiting period before I can approve it. The minute I can approve that plan, I'm going to approve that plan, and we're going to put that parcel on there. And last point, the people who deserve the applause for doing this are you. You did it. No one else did it. The North Country was given a chance. You were given an opportunity. It's what the REDCs were all about. But it was a competition. It was on the merits. And you had to come together, and you had to make it happen, and you did. You really did. The hero here is the man in the mirror and the woman in the mirror, because you really did come together and do what you had to do. You had great leadership on both the community level and the governmental level. They put their politics aside, Democrat, Republican, put all that party junk on the side. They came together to do what was right for the North Country, and they led, and they found the best in people, and they remembered what made the North Country special, and they built on that. And I believe this is just the beginning. I believe the sky is the limit, because at the end of the day, quality wins. Quality wins. And you have an asset here they have nowhere else on the globe. You just have to let it shine. Thank you, and God bless you.
got some other great members of our North Country team. We have our congressman that covers the entire North Country. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Owens.
Good afternoon. Following the governor, preceded by Clyde, leaves me at a little loss of words. Let me say this. We had a great leadership team, great projects, and the governor talked about positive energy. He supercharged our energy with $274 million. That's a big pop. You know, as you look around the room, and as the governor suggested, you look at one another, you understand where the energy comes from, you understand where the ideas come from, and you understand how hard you all work. Let me tell you, the Regional Economic Development Councils are a great idea because they are a bottom-up proposal, and they were implemented extraordinarily well by your hard work, by the work of Gary and Tony and their teams and all the other elected officials. I want to say how proud I am to be a participant in the work that the governor is doing here in my district, which is the largest in New York State and encompasses the entire Adirondack region. We do have great resources, we have great people, and we need to move forward together. Thank you, Governor Cuomo.
Good afternoon, Saranac Lake. We have the governor here, right here in Franklin County. Gives me great pleasure to say that. I know Chairman Douglas over there is kind of smiling at that, but we're so happy to have the governor here. We're lucky. The governor cares about the North Country. We were just talking about it before. Chairman Farber and Chairman Douglas and myself were talking about it. Have you ever seen a governor pay as much attention to the North Country and to Franklin County and all the surrounding counties? Nobody's been up here more often than this governor. Nobody has cared more about this place than this governor, and we want to thank him very much. Thank you, Governor. Really appreciate it. So now I have the task of speaking after the governor. I think the order got screwed up a little bit, but when you go behind one of the greatest speakers of your time, there's not a lot to say. Who the heck wants to listen to Billy Jones? But I will say a few things. We all came out here. It was a bit of a snowstorm last night or whatever. I had my colleagues calling me this morning saying, oh my gosh, it's snowing out. Are we going to go down there? What are we going to do? I'm like, I have to listen to you guys every Thursday tell me the stories about 3 foot of snow and, you know, going to school uphill both ways or whatever. Yes, we're going out down there. We're going to see the governor. He's delivered $274 million to the North Country. He delivered it with Trudeau Institute last month. Up in Lake Placid, he was there giving out the money. He's delivering it here in Saranac Lake with the hotel initiatives. What a great feeling it is. You could walk into this room today and you could feel the energy here. And that's the kind of positive energy we know we should have here. The governor spoke about it. Congressman Owens spoke about it. Let's keep up the good work. Let's keep driving. Let's keep doing it. Work together. Be positive. Be positive. And the governor will come up here again. Believe me, he will. It is my great honor to introduce the chairman of the Board of Supervisors for Essex County, Mr. Randy Douglas, my friend.
Good afternoon. Well, thank you. Governor, you didn't get the memo that your staff sent out about a dress casual today. I don't. But anyways, thank you for embarrassing us all. Oh, my dear friend, Governor Cuomo. Let me tell you a little story. About a couple months ago, Mr. Preston and I and Mr. Farabee were trying to get his attention to do some upgrades to Whiteface Mountain Veterans Memorial Highway. And the governor says, well, we can all put a little part into that, right? And I said, well, Governor, I'm $3 million in debt in the town of Jay. And Mr. Preston said, I have $150. And Mr. Preston, he said I need a little extra money for beer, so I can't give you anything. So this great governor came through with $12 million for Whiteface Veterans Memorial Highway. Under his leadership, you know, North Country Regional Council, Gary Collins and Gary Douglas do such a tremendous job. We are so... I'm sorry. Yeah, right. Tony Collins and Gary Douglas, I'm so sorry, have done a wonderful job for all of us in the North Country. I told Tony earlier today, there's any job he can want in this county, he can have it. So. A couple other things about the North Country Regional Council, what they've done. You know, the impact, you hear millions and millions of dollars, but I think of the local, what it's done for us. We have a little movie theater called the Hollywood Theater in Allsable Forks. $70,000 to keep that movie theater open. Thank you. Corey and Sierra are here. Thank you, Governor. Keeping a movie theater a staple in our town. Thank you so much. Also, we received over $54,000 to improve our infrastructure that was flooded, our youth facilities that were flooded so devastatedly by Hurricane Irene. We have a new project going called Henry's Trails, and the Catos are here. This is out to you, Greg. Greg Cato's here. Henry's Trails is becoming a reality because of Governor Cuomo. Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here in Saranac Lake with Governor Cuomo and my colleagues here in the North Country. As supervisor of Jay and the chairman of Essex County Board of Supervisors, it is an honor to be part of today to celebrate the transformation of the North Country region in the last 3 years. I'd also like to thank our partners in state governor, especially Governor Cuomo, who has time after time delivered for the people of Jay and Essex County. Just last month, the governor came to Whiteface Mountain to announce the state is stepping up to fund the much-needed repairs on the Veterans Memorial Highway. The road had been deteriorating for years, jeopardizing the safety of New Yorkers and visitors as they travel up the mountain. This funding will allow for long overdue upgrades that will make Whiteface Mountain a world-class destination for visitors. This assistance was not the first time the state has stepped up to provide critical funding for infrastructure projects that are essential to our community's growth. When Hurricane Irene destroyed our firehouse in Upper Jay, the state helped fill in a funding gap to make sure we can build a new firehouse for the community. So from the storm recovery to vital investments in our region's infrastructure to the economic development, the state has been there for us. The North Country won big this week in the Regional Economic Development Council Awards. In the last 3 years, we have benefited from more than $274 million in awards through the regional councils, the most for a region in the entire state. As a region that was long neglected by Albany, the North Country is truly thrilled to have a governor and state government whose doors are always open to us. Thank you, and now it is my pleasure to give you the Hamilton County Chairman of the Board of Supervisors, Bill Farber.
Thank you all. It really and truly is my pleasure to be here this afternoon. Randy alluded to the fact that the initial memo came through suggesting that we might want to dress down for this event. And I really frankly thought that we were being asked to come here for the Adirondack snowmobile race. But as it turns out, that must be a later date, Governor. I see you're not prepared for that today. But in all honesty, it wouldn't surprise me if this governor came here for a snowmobile race. This governor cares so deeply about the Adirondacks. He cares so deeply about the North Country region that nothing about this governor and his actions with respect to us surprises me anymore. We talked a little bit about the regional councils, and people have talked a lot about specific projects and the amount of money. I would like to argue that the transformation that's happened in the Adirondacks and in the North Country specifically is really and runs much, much deeper than $275 million. It really gets to the purest and truest meaning of the word transformation. You have seen the North Country and the Adirondacks the mind, the attitude, the momentum transformed by what's been accomplished through the regional councils. And that those regional councils wouldn't have happened were it not for something very simple, leadership. The leadership of this governor, our friend, the Adirondacks' friend, the North Country's friend, and someone I've called to call my friend, Governor Andrew Cuomo. This governor really recognizes that it's much, much more than about the money. The whole concept of the regional councils, that bottom-up planning, went much farther than just the idea of we're going to give you money. It really encouraged people to talk to each other and work together and plan together at the local level. It gave us the opportunity through his leadership to control our own destiny and think about our own needs and what would work for us. It really was a governor saying, this is more than just about the money. Tell me when you need something from the state agencies. Tell me when the system isn't working. This is really all about making government work better, making government more effective for this state, and it certainly is working here in the North Country in the Adirondacks. We're here in Saranac Lake, coming off what I would characterize as an amazing week for the North Country and the Adirondacks specifically. North Country Regional Council, winners 3 years in a row. The Adirondacks, left behind, often forgotten, represented by 3 REDC regions. This week, 3 REDC winners, Mohawk, Capital, and North Country region. What a great day for the Adirondacks. And then we really wrapped up the week with government working, state agencies really coming together and taking input from the local level. It really was interesting. I've read a lot of the media accounts and I've listened to a lot of the speculation about the conversations and this government's and this governor's involvement in the process. And I thought it was particularly telling that when the governor came up and talked to groups from the Adirondacks, he really came up with a much different message than much of what's been characterized. He came up and said, what's happening? He said, what do you need? He said, I've been listening to both sides, and I don't think you're that far apart. I think you ought to be talking to each other. I think you ought to be doing exactly what the regional council design set forth for people to do. Talk to each other and figure out what your individual priorities are, what the opportunities are, what the options are. You people that favor and care deeply about the environment know what you care about. You community leaders know what you care about and what your economies need. What more could the Adirondacks, what more could the North Country ask for than that kind of leadership in our governor, Andrew Cuomo? I'm going to wrap up with that. I really want to thank everybody for being here today. I want to wish you all happy holidays on behalf of all of us that had a chance to speak to you this afternoon. I think this room full of energy and everyone here says a lot about the change in attitude in the Adirondacks, in the North Country region. Certainly people and leaders like Tony Collins, Gary Douglas, Randy Douglas, Billy Jones, all had a lot to do with that, all played a role in that, our Congressman Bill Owen. But there really is, as we wrap up, and I thank all of you, one person that we need to thank one more time for his leadership, our great governor, Andrew Cuomo, because at the end of the day, this is all about leadership.